Hello, gamer family, and welcome to my Shadow Dragon map ranking. Now, this video will also count for the first Fire Emblem game, and for the most part, the remake that's actually in Fire Emblem 3. Fun fact, Chapter 16, that I believe is the most remade chapter in the entire franchise, appearing in 4 games, but that's besides the point. There's a decent amount of maps in this game. There's 34. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say I've actually never played 24X, because the requirement to get that are so annoying, because I have to, kill Tiki and not get Falchion. So, that sucks. I know an exploit that a lot of people do to get it is to have Falchion be in Tiki's inventory, then to kill Tiki, and then to revive Tiki, and all of a sudden you have Falchion. Maybe next time we play the game, I'll try that, actually. But I have not played the map. I have no opinions on it. But yeah, let's go right in with F-tier maps. These actually just suck. I think these are bad maps. Number 33, Chapter 24. It's essentially a clock with a bunch of dragons, where you either go through sneak through a little sliver, or you have to go through a lot of dragons. That's not fun. Nobody wants to do that. Number 32, Chapter 13, Ballista. Just a lot of ballista. Yeah, it sucks. Number 31, Prologue 4. The sacrifice idea is stupid. I don't like it. I don't like that. It's stupid. I think it's stupid. Number 30, Chapter 21. It's just open plains. I can't believe this isn't, in last place, but I genuinely don't think it's the worst map. Again, the thing with all these maps, except for 13, I guess, but, you can warp skip it, and all of a sudden it's not as bad, but, I love warp skipping. I think it's really fun, but it's hard to rank maps high when you warp skip them. Number 29, Chapter 11. I've always hated this map. I've always had a bone to pick with this map in particular. Is it a bad map? No, not really. It's a perfectly adequate map. But I have always hated it. I really enjoy the DS games. Now, this is the map that broke the camel's back when I first played this game. All those years ago, when I was even worse at Fire Emblem than I am now, because I'm still not good. This map broke me. I could not get to the boss without dying. This is the first map I ever arena grinded on, and I still feel like my Fire Emblem skills have never recovered from my first time playing this map. I still feel like I overly rely on the arena even now, and I blame this map. The map itself, of course, is not bad. The reason why it's an F tier is my own personal experiences with it, which is where I say, remember, this list is my opinion. But, I hate it. And when I played New Mystery the Emblem for the first time, I was on this map when I actually Googled and found out I couldn't get the good ending, and I actually just dropped the game. I claim that I beat the game all the time, but really, I couldn't get the good ending. I wanted to play FE4, and I hate this map, because this is Chapter 19 in New Mystery. So yeah, hate it. D-tier maps, these are mostly just really boring. Number 28, Prologue 1. Boring ass nothing. There's nothing here. It's boring. There's nothing here. It's not bad. There's just nothing here. Number 27, Chapter 15. Stinky poo-poo desert map. At least you have Garnef here to kind of make it interesting, but even then, I don't really like this map. Number 26, Prologue 3. This is where I found out on my script I actually had chapter numbers wrong, because, fun fact, this is actually a tiny little sliver of double checking here, Chapter 16. For some reason I said 15 earlier, and I was like, wait a second, that's the desert map that we just had. But no, fun fact, it's actually a tiny little sliver of that map. That's literally more interesting than the map itself. Cell phone Alex here, because I accidentally forgot to talk about number 25, which is Prologue 2. Sorry for the low quality image. There's no images of the prologues on the internet. All of them do come from World of Dragon, although this one's very blurry. This map's, it's fine. I actually don't mind it. Obviously, I think it's the best of the prologue maps. I think it's the most interesting one with the units you get. and getting to the end. And just like I said, Prologue 3, fun fact, this is actually a tiny little snippet of Chapter 17, which I think is really cool and, again, is cooler than the actual map itself. Number 24, Chapter 6X. I didn't forget to record about this one. I just called it the wrong chapter name. I called it 7X. It's actually Chapter 6X, apparently. It's a fine map. Now, my memory may be a little foggy on it because I've only played it the once on the Let's Play. But it seemed like a basic Shadow Dragon map. It never seemed like anything too special to me. Especially because there's a lot of traditional Shadow Dragon maps, I'd argue, in this game. And another reason why this one's just so low is the way you get this map is stupid. I don't really talk about it with any of the other Gaiden maps. But having to have 15 or less units is stupid and kind of ruins the map to me. Like, why aren't we just getting it regularly? Why do I have to be playing bad to get this map? Doesn't really make sense to me. And I'm taking my frustration about that out on this map. Just because out of the Gaiden maps, this is like the most boring with the least going on. Yeah. Don't worry, you'll be going back to good Mike, Alex, with the next one. Number 23, Chapter 22, Mountain Siege. I don't know, maybe if I played this map properly, I'd actually learn to enjoy it, but I've never played it properly, and this just never seems like a map I want to. It seems like it would be hell to play normally because of all the enemies and the Mountain Siege, and who knows, maybe it could be fun, but I don't know. I've never enjoyed it, but maybe it's my fault. Number 22, Chapter 4. It's a boring plains map, but I do occasionally find it fun to hold off the enemies, as it does seem like, turn 3 and 4, there's like nice little oh, what am I gonna do? There's all these enemies here. And that is kind of fun. And arena. Number 21, Chapter 20. A bunch of tough enemies, and there's definitely multiple ways to go on this map. But to me, that doesn't make it feel too amazing or fun. I still kind of just find it boring. All the bosses are in forest area, which sucks. And the drawbridges aren't really fun. A ton of reinforcements, which could be fun. I don't know. I've just never truly enjoyed this map. I think I like this map more by starting in a different location. I think that's all this map is missing. Is maybe I think if the drawbridge was on the side with the castle to seize, and you started still right there, but there's a ton of really tough enemies right south, I think this map's really close to being really good, but just the way it is, it's never clicked with me. C tier maps. These are perfectly fine. In fact, it's worth noting, I'm being a little bit more harsh on this game because I kind of wanted a more even spread between B, C, and D tier. Honestly, you could probably move up a little bit of the D tiers up to here, and maybe even move up a C tier map to B tier. I don't know. This map is the game that I kind of struggled the most to get a tier list I was happy with. The placement of everything. Because, to me, the maps themselves are not why I think this game's fun. I think it's just how this game feels really good to play. The mechanics are fun. I don't really like reclassing and all. So, but the actual way the game moves, the generics, they're all really fun, and forging's fun, and again, while I don't love reclassing, I think it is it's almost done well here. I like how you can't have everyone be one class. I think a combination between Engage, 3 houses, and this game's reclassing would be my perfect reclass, where any unit could be almost any class, but you have to have a seal, you have to get them right level, and then you have to have them do something else completely separate, kind of like what 3 houses does, and I think that would be fun. Number 20, Chapter 19. This map's really only fun when you don't have thieves. Because when you don't have thieves, you can only get into the rooms that you have the door keys for. And I think that's really fun. And I think that is what makes this chapter have such potential to be fun. But if you have a thief, it's kind of just boring. Number 19, Chapter 2. This map is nothing special. I really like the first map of this game, and we'll get to that later. And I think this is a fine follow-up. You were kind of already taught all the mechanics you needed to know previously, besides the save mechanic. But that's really all this map truly has, is talking to enemies to recruit. And I love talking to enemies to recruit, and this map has a lot of them, which I like. And you get to have some classes can walk over water. I don't know, it's kind of fun, and I like the bridge chokeholds, but it's still also kind of just boring. Number 18, Chapter 17X. I'm gonna be honest, out of all the guided maps, I probably remember this one the least. Which is one of the reasons why it's one of the lower ones. Because this is a game that to me has a lot of really good Castle Siege maps. A lot of Castle Siege maps I really like, but this one was just kind of boring and overly linear. And yeah, sure, a lot of the other Castle Sieges are kind of linear, but this is the map that really felt linear, more so than the other ones, and I didn't really enjoy it because of that. Number 17, Chapter 12X. The reason why I like this map is only because of the Horus part. I think, like, trying to get him recruited and all that, I had fun figuring that out my first time. But it's really worth noting that the guided maps in this game are nothing special. None of them are. This is one of the best ones. That doesn't mean it's good. Number 16, Chapter 3. This is a fine map. I like how you start with Julian and Lena, that you kind of need to just get the run away from everyone else. I like that. And you got another recruitable enemy. It could be tougher to recruit if you don't know what you're doing as well, just because Navarre's in a group of mercenaries, and I like that. I think that's fun, but once you're like past turn 5, the rest of the map's kind of boring, which is why it's in C tier. Number 15, Chapter 20X. There's nothing really wrong in this map. I just don't think there's anything too special either, and to me that felt like a high C tier since there's really no complaints to make. Number 14, Chapter 23. Now, this doesn't really have to do anything with the map, but my script here is really, really loose, and all I wrote on this map is Garniff my ball. I'm assuming supposed to say Garniff my balls, but I don't remember. I just wanted to say that. This is a fun map where, obviously, in Mystery of the Emblem Book 1, that's a remake of Fire Emblem 1, but I cut a lot of characters and maps. There's one exception, because 19 maps were kept, then a couple were cut, but this map was actually replaced with an entirely new map. And if I remember correctly, there's no Garniff clones, so I guess they just couldn't get Garniff clones for some reason to work in the SNES engine, so they redid the map. The Garniff clones, though, I think are actually really fun, and I like that you can use the Geosphere to tell the real one. This is honestly a kind of fun map. B tier maps. Essentially, the upper C tier was essentially just worse B tier, so this is essentially a better C tier. They're good maps. I enjoy these maps quite a bit. Number 13, Chapter 9. Why is this map so high? Multiple paths and objectives. You have to go both paths to get all the objectives. I like that. You have to split your army if you want to get everything. And there's also chests in the south that you need to play fast if you want to get. I like that. That's good map design. In the first Fire Emblem game, that's crazy. This kind of reminds me of Chapter 3 of Genealogy, which I love. So, good map. I like it. Number 12, Chapter 17. This is the iconic one, as I was talking about it earlier. I actually think I called it Chapter 16 in the intro, because as I mentioned, I accidentally messed up the numbering on a couple of maps. But this map is iconic. It is in 4 games. 4 games. That's actually a lie, because it is in 5 games. 5 out of 17 games have this map. I think that's a fun fact. I think it's cool. Again, The chests are a completely optional side objective, and you have to go out of your way if you want to get them, which I like. You could do the main objective and the side objective at the same time. You can do one at a time. You can skip the side objective. Your choice. Secret Shop 2. That slaps. Number 11, Chapter 16. This map feels like an epic battle. Again, you have 2 paths, and arenas are cool. It just feels epic. I don't know. I've always enjoyed this map, and I don't know why. Number 10, Chapter 7. Hordes from the South. This map's kind of like Chapter 8, but not as good. Where you're heading south, and a ton of enemies are coming up from the south to the north, and I find that fun. And I like that you have the non-combatant Pegasus Knights as well, the Pegasus Trio, but they don't join you. They're just not combatants, and I like that. I like that. Pretty cool. Pretty epic. Number 9, Chapter 10. Like I said, I like the Castle Siege maps. And I like about this one is, first of all, the reinforcements make this map a lot of fun. What's great is you don't even have to go inside. If you don't want to save Maria, you don't have to. And I think that's really fun that you can just skip it entirely. I think that's honestly a power move. I've never played like that. I might have to. A-tier maps. I like these. They're pretty good. I always enjoy playing them. Number 8, Chapter 5. I like that you get recruits that are right by the boss. They're so cool. I've always loved them being right there. Plus, they're really fun units to play around with. And I think that to me really makes this map fun. I think the reinforcements here are great and fun. And all the recruits on this map just are really fun to get. Drinking game. Every time I say fun, take a shot. You probably are dead by now. Number 7, Chapter 18. I like bridge fights. You start at the top, the enemies start at the bottom, and you meet in the middle. Awesome. That's fun to me. Number 6, the final map. This is a good final map. You're forced to start in 4 different places. If you use the Geosphere, that's a ton of fun. And Medius ain't no pushover. Unless you're playing the original game. In the original game, he kind of is. But in Fire Emblem 3, this is a really, really, really hard map. And I sucked so bad in my Iron Man. I lost on the final map. That hurt. But I will always remember that. And I'd like to think I'm a better Fire Emblem player now than I was then. S-tier maps. I like these. I think they're pretty good. All of them. I think they're all pretty good. Number 5, Chapter 14. I'm going to be honest, my judgment is slightly being clouded by the fact that this map is so good in Mystery of the Emblem and New Mystery, but it isn't bad here either. Again, I like inside siege maps. You got multiple ways to go. You got side objectives with the chest. You got the little ballista shooty holes. You got the village, Camu village in the north. Like, oh, that's great. I love all of that, and I think that's all great. Number 4, Chapter 8. This map I used to despise. The non-stop reinforcements bombarding you. It's rough. You have 3 options, essentially. You can warp skip the map. Boring. You can defend and hold off all the enemies. That's what I typically do. I have fun with that. Or you can speedrun it and try not to die. And that also is really fun. I've done that before. It's really fun. This map gives you so many different ways to play it, and I think that's great. Number 3, Chapter 1. This is it, guys. This is the first map in the franchise, and it's actually a pretty good first map. It teaches you about shops, it teaches you about villages, it teaches you that villages can be destroyed, and it teaches you about recruiting new units, and it teaches you about different unit types as well. This map does a lot of heavy lifting, and obviously it's easy in retrospect to be like, it's kind of a boring map, but I don't like retroactively praising something just for being the first, so I'm going to be a hypocrite with this map. I'll be honest, I'm a hypocrite. I'm not someone that says, oh, you gotta love Fire Emblem 1 just because it's the first game. No, it's not that fun these days. But this is still, I think, a fantastic starting map. It introduces pretty much everything you need to know. And it's easily digestible, too. And I think that's great. Number 2, Chapter 12, fun map. Castle sieges are cool. I like the side objective set chest room. This. And there's also like a dragon in here, too. That's like, ooh, scary dragon. You could go around in the chest room. You can send units to both sides. You can fight them. You can avoid them. It's all great. I love it. It's so much fun. This map slays. You also got another optional objective with the guys at the top that you can rescue. Pretty good, pretty good. Number 1, Chapter 6. This is a fun map. Gonna be honest, I don't have a lot to say. I think it is fun to try and get all the chests. You have to play fast to get all the chests. Getting Rickard's also. I like how you just have a guy in a prison cell. I think that's fun. I want to say it's actually a different unit in Fire Emblem 3 Book 1, but I'm probably wrong. I want to say it's Wendell, but I think I'm wrong, so disregard me. And I just like the left side of the map, how you have like multiple different paths you can go. You can just put you can chokehold one path, you can chokehold 2 paths. I think that's all fun. I think it's a really good map. Anyways, that's my Shadow Dragon ranking. Here's all of them. I'm gonna be honest, this is an unpopular opinion. I know the character portraits don't look very good in this game, but the more I look at the maps, the more I like how they look. I wish the colors were a little brighter, but I actually do really like how the maps look in this game. I would say the portraits, and obviously the game gets flagged for its animations not being good, and its sprites not being good, portraits not being the best, but the maps themselves look really good. Different, but good. And this is a fun game. And I know this tier list probably seems harsh, but I genuinely think this game has some of my favorite gameplay in the franchise. So I think it's just me being that strict. But anyways, that's it. See y'all later. Cowabunga.